Astra is probably the hardest agent in the game. You know, so much so that people who have been playing this game for years haven't even clicked on her. I know my IRL duo who hasn't clicked on Astra ever, and he's been playing for over 2 years. With the current map pool, Astra is good at many of the maps, and it's quite a shame she's not utilized more, right? I, as a Master Gold player and a exceptional Astra player, if I do say so myself, probably my best agent, will teach you just how to use her util and never let a defuse happen. Let's get into it. First thing I kind of want to get into with you guys is her best maps, Astra's best maps. Astra is generally good on, this is in no particular order, I'll list it in order in a second: Split, Summit, Haven, Ascent, and Sunset. If you're watching this video later in a later patch, I don't have an updated version, but I will look at the entire map pool and give you a list in post. So she's good on Split, Summit, Haven, Ascent, and Sunset. The reason why she's good on these maps is she's good on really big maps with honest choke spots. What do I mean by honest choke spots? Well, let's see. So any place with these open areas right here, or these choke spots right here that are, sites have a true A main, or a true B main, a true mid choke. That's another mid choke, and then these chokes right here, and it's the same for defense, where there's true honest chokes. A map maybe like maps like Breeze and Pearl that don't have quite true chokes that you would use different smoke players on, she's not quite as good, right? So that's one of the reasons why she's good on these certain maps. She's also not limited by an iPad or distance. That's why she's good on larger maps, right? She's not limited by a certain amount of space on an iPad like Clove or Brimstone, and she's not limited by distance like Omen is. She can float wherever on the map she needs to from wherever she is on the map, making her extremely fast at getting smokes down where they need to be, right? The last thing that makes her really good in these situations is easy peekaboo places for post plants. What does that mean, right? What does it mean for peekaboo places in post plants, right? What do I mean by peekaboo post plant spots? So let's say we're gonna float on over to here to A. Let's say plant is posted on defense on A site, right? I'll explain a little bit of the mechanics here in a little bit. I'm just kind of explaining what peekaboo places are for post plant. Let's say plant is posted right here. I have I can play an A main, and all I have to do right here is hold, and I can use a specific Astra util that we're going to talk about later in the video. I can use specific Astra util right here, and then peekaboo, see if they're actually on it, right? Peekaboo, or even place a smoke right here, and peekaboo, and I can just do a lot from here. That's what I like to call peekaboo post plant, right? Really good with Astra, and I'll talk about that in my future videos a little bit more, right? So that is a little bit of what map she's good on and what she's good for. Now I'm going to explain Astra's kit. She's a very different agent. This is why she's hard. She's a very different type of agent. I'm just going to pull up her abilities here. So one thing you should know about Astra is she doesn't use abilities. She doesn't buy abilities and use abilities like any other agent. She buys stars. You see these little circles with points at the top of them. There's 5 right above your toolkit. Those are stars. That's how many stars you have. And when you place down these stars, you have an option of doing one of the first 3 abilities, right? So if you place down a star and press C, for example, you're going to do the gravity well, right? Now, to get into what these 3 options for a star is, let's get into it. So gravity well, place a star in astral form, which is your ultimate key. You press your ultimate key to place down stars. You activate a star to form a gravity well by pressing C. I believe it's C for everybody on this key. Activate a star to form a gravity well. Players in the area are pulled towards the center before it explodes, making all players still trapped inside vulnerable. So what that means is I just press my ultimate key to place down a star. I just placed down a star. That's what I did by left click. So when I look at the star and I press C, it's going to create a suck ability. And then once it explodes, whoever's still in it is vulnerable. I get a quick invulnerable. And we'll explain how that's used a little bit later, right? So you have a suck ability. And then your second ability, Nova Pulse, you place a star in astral form. And when you activate it, you detonate a Nova Pulse. The Nova Pulse charges briefly, then strikes, concussing all players in its area. So it's a big concuss. So I'm aiming at a star, I press my middle mouse button, and it'll slam down the star, and that will stun anybody in the radius of that for a few seconds, right? So that's what that stun does, right? The last main ability that you can use with the stars is her bread and butter. It's going to be your bread and butter as a controller. Her smoke, her nebula, her actual nebula pulse. These are the biggest smokes in the game, radius-wise, as you can see. That's pretty freaking huge in comparison to a brim smoke or an omen smoke or a clove smoke or any other smoke in the game. That's embarrassing. Right, so Astra's got a bigger radius for her smokes, which have some cons and a lot of pros that we'll talk about once we get into it. Now, Astra's ult is a little bit different from the rest of her kit. It's called Astral Form. It's called Astral Form / Cosmic Divide. Astral Form is how you place your stars, and Cosmic Divide is what the actual ult name is. You activate it to enter Astral Form. I've already showed you guys. So her ult, Cosmic Divide, when Cosmic Divide is charged, use Alt Fire in Astral Form, meaning right click. You'll right click to select it, to begin aiming it, and then fire, left click, to select 2 locations. An infinite Cosmic Divide connects to 2 points. The Cosmic Divide blocks bullets and... Okay, I gotta pull my knife. Blocks bullets and sound. So I'll give you a little demonstration here. I'm gonna right click, I'm gonna left click, hold left click to aim my Astral Divide, or my Cosmic Divide. And I'm gonna place it, I'm gonna click again to place it down. What that does is that creates a huge wall dividing the entire map along the line that I set. Now, and a person on the other side of the wall cannot hear what I'm doing. It's very faint, and you can't shoot through it. You can't spam through it. It's blocking the bullets. Importantly, though, util like raised nades or Roombas or dogs or cabbages can go through the wall. Very important to remember. Bullets cannot go through the wall, but everything else can, and it's silent. We'll talk about different tips and tricks you can use for the wall, and that is Astra's kit. Now, let's kind of talk about what it looks like to attack. Well, what it looks like to attack with Astra. Now, I'm not going to be going into what it looks like to place smokes. I'm not going to give you smokes. I'm giving you a somewhat advanced rundown of what it's like to actually play the character, not smokes on this map, right? If you would like to learn, if you're a little beginner and you would like to learn the smokes for each map, I have a friend who I create content with on YouTube. His name is Miles DeRocco. Go look at him. He is making videos for smokes. He is going through the common smoke spots on every map. It's a shorter form video, but it'll be really nice. All right, so I'm going through what it actually looks like to play the duelist practically, right? Or play the character practically. So, first thing I kind of want to talk about is using your stun correctly on an execute. So your stun is not something you're going to want to save. You're going to want to use it for executes and kind of stun common positions on the map, right? So let's say I am attacking on Ascent. And I'm setting up my duelist to go in, right? Miles did a video on Ascent the other day, and he taught us that these 2 smokes are probably the best smokes for an execute. So of course we're gonna pop these smokes, and then a very good popular stun would be to place a stun right here, right? This covers a big area of back sight. Nobody will be able to peek you from a Jin right here because they will get stunned once you put that stun down. Anybody behind dice will get stunned, and anybody who's trying to peek out of hell will get stunned, right? So say a duelist is about to entry for you, you just right as they go in, you stun for them. Just to stun anybody on site, prevent people from peeking. The rest of the team's in by the time they go to peek, and you have a good setup, right? So that's a practical way to use the stun there. We'll go to B site and kind of give a different example. We got the default smokes and market and CT, right? So say we're attacking back here. We're attacking boathouse, we make it here, or we're attacking site and we make it here. Now there's a few different stuns you could go with, and it's very situational based on how the enemy team plays. You've got to kind of read the enemy team and see how they play. But there's a few very good stuns. One stun being boathouse. That is the most common place where people will play once you're attacking site. So you get a stun back here. Obviously your duelist is coming up here, or somebody's coming up here, and they get this pick easy as somebody stunned, right? Or a few other places you could stun if you know somebody plays close in this corner, right? You don't want to stun the enemy team. If you look on the screen, there's a little radius around the star, a circle around the star. That is your radius in which every piece of util will go off. So when you're looking at this star, the radius reaches that box but doesn't reach in the lane. So you're not going to stun any of your teammates, right? So you know a person plays this corner right here, and they're kind of playing it masterfully. You're trying to spam, but the spam's not quite working. So you put a piece of util down and you swing, right? Now, a situation you wouldn't want to use that star is if your jet or duelist, like most duelists would, dash up over here, over the roof and on here, you would stun them and you would make them very angry. So again, this is very situational. Another really good one, if somebody's playing behind these boxes, you can stun right there, or you can stun right here. Kind of isolates people right there. So that's how you use your stun. In general, you want to use your stun in a place where you know enemies have been playing. It's you got to read your opponents, set them where enemies have been playing in very open general spots to set up and execute, to properly put yourself at an advantage. Whereas maybe on a gun round, it's a 50-50 advantage on site, or a 50-50 gunfight. You're turning a 50-50 gunfight into a 75-25 gunfight when they're stunned, right? So that's how you use the stun. Well, maybe you're like, okay, I'm doing that with the suck, or I'm doing that with the stun. How do I use the gravity well, or most commonly known as the suck? Using the suck, right? Can I use the suck for the same thing? Yes, but a specific example I'd like to give you is you saving your suck for a post plant, right? So say your teammates hit a perfect execute. It's a 4v2, right? The other two are rotating in, the other two enemies are rotating in, and we've got bomb planted right here, right? Say that happens, right? What are we gonna do? We're gonna come to B main, and we're going to set up a grav well. Now, importantly, when we do set up this grav well, we want to put the edge, the very edge, the like last little bit right there that's overlapping with the box. You want to put that little edge on the spike. I'll show you why in a minute. You're gonna play here. Say your team crumbles. The other two are absolutely goated, right? And your three people go down. But they got one. So it's a 1v1. You're in a 1v1 scenario. Spike is about halfway done, right? What do? They tap the bomb because they're trying to bait you out. What do? You grav well. What does that do? When you grav well, say bomb is planted right here. When you grav well, you actively pull them towards the center off of the bomb. That same thing wouldn't happen if you put the star right on top of the bomb. They would just sit in the same spot and still defuse. So you want to place your grav well far enough away to where it will pull the person defusing off of the bomb. And this works all the time, unless you're in a 1v2, and then they might use the body block method, but it's not very common in lower ranks. So you've got the grav well to use like this, and this is the main way you use the grav well on attack rounds, right? But let's say it's you know, not every round is a gun round. Let's say it's anti-eco round where you've got bulldogs and stuff and they've got pistols, right? What do you don't need to save it for post plant. It's going to be an easy round, right? Absolutely. You're right. And then you can use the suck as an additional way to, as an additional stun, you know, like using it, if you have two players playing in two big general spots, like we were talking about. So if one player is playing a pesky corner like right here, and there's one playing back here in boathouse, you could stun one and suck the other, right? So as your team's coming in, you stun this one, you suck this one, kill this guy real quick. This guy's vulnerable back here, and it's an easy round, right? It's an easy few picks. You're just making the easy picks even easier, and that's for off rounds where it's not full 50-50 gunfights and not full executes, right? So that's kind of how you're going to use the suck, right? Mainly in post plan. That's mainly what it's used. Now, you may be asking me, what do you use the ult for? Well, it's just a big wall. How in the world could you use that, right? So the way you use the ult on attack is, so say I'm executing on the B right here. I'm going to use it to block off the common choke points, right? I'm going to use that to easily block this off. So CT can't hear that we're already on site, right? Market can't hear that we're already on site. No, nobody can hear that we're already on site except for these few people right here. Nobody can spam us through smokes and any gimmicks. And we basically have a free entry onto site. This is better on maps like Split and Haven, where like on B side on Split, you could fully wall off Heaven, and that's one angle you don't have to worry about. You can do a 5-man rush down B main. Or Haven on C, you can completely block off Garage and CT side, the whole entire right side of C side. Right, that's the practical application. You're going to cut off choke points, save some stars by cutting off choke points, and you're going to use it to block sound and block bullets. That's the whole use of the Astra wall, right? That's the whole use of it. What about the defense side? So on the defense side, you know, you're going to do your basic, your basic stuff like smoking entryways and smoking mid. There's a video on that on Miles' channel already for Ascent. He needs to come out with more maps weekly. So you're obviously doing those main smokes, but how do you use your utility effectively in on defense, right? So something I like to think of Astra util on defense side is I like to think of them as like kind of like mollies. What do mollies have to do with defense? Well, you use mollies to kind of deny entry. When you use mollies, you want to use them as a way to stall a push. Like you hear a duelist entry, you want to pop a molly just so you can get that duelist and stall the rest of the push. Maybe get somebody to rotate, right? So say we got somebody pushing A main and jet entries. Me, when I hear somebody's coming my side, I place 2 stars down. I place the main smoke and I place one right on the edge of that main smoke. Why do I do this? So I have my gun up and I'm not caught off guard when somebody entries. So I hear them come through. Let's say I don't have a sentinel on this side, so they're not being quite careful about clearing sentinel util. They're just gonna dash right in. So jet dashes in. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna either suck or I'm going to stun, and I'm gonna peek out and I'm gonna kill that jet. I'm gonna help teammate on site kill that jet, right? Because they're still stuck behind a smoke. If they come out of the molly, or if they come out of the vulnerable, if they get sucked into it, I'm gonna shoot them. If they get caught in the suck, I'm gonna shoot them. And I have essentially a few free kills because they're moving. They can't be accurate and move and shoot, and they're also vulnerable once it explodes, right? So I that's the best way to use her util on defense. I'm going to give a different example here, and this is both for the stun and the suck. They're both used pretty interchangeably on defense. So let's say I hear them B main, pop and smoke, jet dashes over, I'm stunning right here. They walk through, I get 2 or 3 good picks, or 1 or 2 picks, right? And then maybe jet gets the kill on site, I come here, right? And I use my other piece of utility to help me there. That's just kind of getting used to. So maybe I'll throw a suck right there. That's just getting used to playing Astra, right? So so that's how you would use that. Another way you can use the suck is to deny plants. Say there's a close round and it's 15 seconds left and they just made an execute and you hear them going for the plant. All right, you real quickly pop a star on the default where the default would usually be. It's usually a good gamble to go for default, and that's where you would usually default plant the bomb on attack. You would immediately in a fast manner put a star down and spam C and let it suck them off the plant. It works in the same way as a defuse. So if you pull them far enough, it gets them off the plant. So you deny a plant. You deny a plant and you're wasting more time. Now they have to worry about people shooting at them, and it makes it a whole lot messier, and it gives you more of an advantage. That's another way to use the suck on defense, right? How do you use the wall? The wall seems pretty weak on defense. You're not really executing on anything. Wrong. See, when you're on defense and the attackers have a fully planted bomb and they are set up for a post plant, the game kind of flips on its head. You now become an attacker. You're trying to attack the bomb site that they've just taken from you. So it flips on its head, and if you have an Astra wall, you should use it for retakes, and you should use it in a similar way that you do on attack, except for the defense. So I'm going to put my wall right here to cut off both the choke points from tree and here, and say bombs planted on default. They have to check me. Like I said earlier, there's no sound on the other side of the wall. They can't hear when I'm on the defuse, so they have to constantly check it. So you have your teammates clear the close angles. Obviously, you clear the close angles before you get on the defuse, and then you have them hold the wall and somebody stick the defuse. Or instead, you just hold it. If you're short on numbers, you just hold it and you wait for them to peek, because they have to peek. I will say beware of util. They can spam util on the bomb or spam flashes trying to peek you. So always be aware of that. It's not always free picks, but that's just, I'm trying to get your brain moving on how to use those. All right, one last little mechanic I have with Astra is kind of an advanced mechanic. So if you're a beginner and you're just picking up Astra, maybe just come back to this video, save this video for later, and come back to it to play around with Astra, get used to the basics of what I'm talking about. It does take a lot to get comfortable with switching into your ult, switching back in certain positions, right? But something important about Astra is she can pick her stars back up off the ground. And when she picks up her stars back up off the ground, it turns into a smoke for a little bit and then disappears. There's a lot of really cool things you can do with this mechanic right here. So, and this is really situational, and this is why it's an advanced mechanic, because it's a really specific thing. You use it for specific timings, right? So say I'm right here, or there's somebody top mid, and maybe she has an op, right? And she's left side right here. So I'm gonna pretend like I'm going over here, but I'm really just gonna pop smoke. So I can pop this smoke. They think I'm rotating, but I'm just gonna hold this angle. So when the smoke drops, I get a kill. I've caught them completely off guard. There's no difference between a regular smoke popping and you picking up a star. So I can pop this little thing down, press to pick it up, wait for it to drop, boom, free kill. I can't tell you how many rounds I've won off of just getting a free pick from picking up a star. It's very situational when you want to catch people off guard. Say maybe on split. Just imagine this is like I'm on ramp right here, and this is the entry. So Vince would be right here, and then the rest of heaven right here. Say this is the entry, and there's so many heaven. There's so many people heaven. So I pop Astra Star. They turn away. They look heaven. I pop one or two here, and then I back off. Right? It's very situational. You can't use it a lot, otherwise people will start predicting it. But that's just one of the best ways to get some free kills, and that, like I said, that's a pretty advanced tip. if you enjoyed this video of this informational take on Astra and how to play her, I'm starting a series, so I'll be going into a lot more agents. I should cover all of the agents. That's what I'm trying to go for. So I'm trying to cover all the agents. If you like the video, please subscribe and turn notifications on. Leave me a comment if I did something bad or did something wrong. In the future, I might do updates once they get buffed and nerfed and all that stuff. But if you found it helpful, please subscribe. It's the best way to support me. If you want to see me play live and break some vibes live, and watch me play some Astra, hop on over to Twitch, twitch.tv/Reverend Val. Yeah, it's just my name on YouTube except Val at the end. Somebody stole my cool username. I would appreciate that very much. We are a vibe over there, and I stream most nights. I'm pretty sure I stream roughly 6 nights out of a week. So I appreciate you for watching this video, and thank you very much. You have a nice day. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night.